city with the message, life, and fame of Jesus is not a new idea. It's a mission as old as the early church itself. Yet it's one we feel freshly called by God into. That's why we're committed to giving Cape Town 5 gifts over 5 years. Together, these gifts have the potential to transform thousands of lives for good, filling our city with real, lasting hope. 2 years into this adventure, let's hear from some of the people at the forefront of each of these gifts.
Our first gift to the city is to multiply Christ followers, to introduce more of our friends and family to Jesus. I think we're making good ground on this, by the way. I mean, in the last year, I've been freed up to visit all of our congregations. And my biggest encouragement is to keep on meeting people who, in the last year, have come to faith and started coming to church. I've sat in on alphas where tablesfuls of people have come to faith. I've visited stacks of Sunday meetings where new people keep showing up because you invited them. Some people say, I'm not so sure I buy everything that was said in the message, but there's something here that I really like. I think I'll come back. And they do. Then again, in the same meeting, there are others who say, this is it, count me in, I believe. I visited schools where our next gen staff minister. In one break time last year, over 40 kids came to faith. I think the hinge event here is having the courage to engage people with the love and the message of Jesus, talking to them, inviting them to stuff. As we look to the year ahead, we mustn't lose focus. The days are urgent. Eternity is at stake. The kingdom is advancing. We want to gain even more momentum as we trust God to reach and save and draw in people who are now far from God.
We believe that one of the most important ways that we can multiply Christ followers by multiplying gospel access points close to where the people of Cape Town are living. We want to take this gospel and good news into every pocket and corner of the city. We believe God has given us a grace as a church in the city to multiply congregations. In this year, we have 4 church planting residents. That's leaders that are already deployed in local congregations, but that are getting ready for future church plants. We also have 4 interns that are also deployed in local congregations, learning, gearing up, understanding, studying, getting ready to be ministry leaders in key areas of worship and kids ministry and administration. In 2019, we are super excited that we have planted the 10th Common Ground congregation in the beautiful suburb of Langa. And we are full of anticipation that God is going to prepare people and places for all of our future congregations. We believe that He has called us to be a fruitful vine planted near a spring, overcoming the walls, planting churches into local communities to bring the love and the goodness of Christ to them.
As a result of South Africa's growing inequality, there are just so many people in our city, so many of our neighbors who are disconnected from opportunities. And this fuels hopelessness and despair. So the heart of Gift 3, multiplying compassion and justice, is about recognizing the God-given potential in each and every person in our city and creating opportunities for these lives to flourish. At Common Good, in partnership with Christ, we are changing the trajectories of people's lives. The partnership between Common Good and Common Ground is incredible, and the generosity of this church has meant that we have reached further into our city and impacted thousands of lives in the past year, together. In total, there were 840 graduates from our TZN Work Readiness course in 2018, and an astounding 704 of these graduates were placed in work, internship, and further studying opportunities. We also saw over 80 Work Readiness graduates come to Christ, and our Langa congregation being formed from many of these graduates. Through our growing network of collaboration schools, we are so encouraged by the number of teachers, leaders, governors, and parents who are responding enthusiastically to our model that strives to bring systemic change in the toughest of school contexts, and 2,500 learners receiving a better education. We are also celebrating the start of our Early Life initiative as we support a growing number of churches who now see the valuable role they play in nurturing the very young amongst us, the first 1,000 days of life. So in 2019, we have faith for thousands of babies, school children, and unemployed people in a city accessing early life, education, and employment opportunities that will change the trajectory of their lives. We have faith for hundreds of people experiencing the saving grace of Christ. We have faith that together with you, we can offer many more people in our city real and tangible hope.
Today, an astounding number of people are working toward cultural change. Social activists, politicians, academics, artists, writers, and many religious leaders, often in very contradictory ways. And amidst all the noise and all the lobbying, we've been quiet, too quiet. Wouldn't it be great to see our city and society reflect more of the Father's justice and love? But how do we go about impacting our culture for good when for so long we've set ourselves apart? Well, we start where we're at, in our homes, our communities, and our places of work. And let's not separate our spiritual life from our so-called secular life. Let's vaporize the sacred and secular and live just one life. And let whatever we do be energized by a deep sense of why we do it. If vocation truly is, as Buechner claimed, where our greatest passion meets the world's greatest need, then our cubicles, our studios, and our homes are nothing short of sacred. So watch the space as the Cultural Renewal team sets our sights on doing all we can to equip, to inspire, to connect, collaborate, and mobilize Christ followers to be catalysts and agents of cultural change for the good of this city.
Our fifth gift to the city is strengthening other churches, especially those in under-resourced communities. Over the past 2 years, we've had the privilege of connecting with about 100 pastors from Guguletu, Kailicha, Langa, and Philippi, and we get together to discuss ways in which we can strengthen each other. So this year we hope to host about 8 leaders' breakfast with hundreds of pastors from these different communities, but we've also selected some of these pastors, those we feel like we can journey with them, intentionally be praying for them, and we've also put some of them through a journey that which is a church planters course. In addition, our new website called Common Resources has been made available to strengthen churches in Cape Town and around the world.
To continue to give these gifts to our city, we'll need God's ongoing grace and a growing movement of people who carry the same passion for this city. By multiplying Christ followers, planting more Christ-honoring, healthy congregations, deepening our compassion as we respond to injustice, being agents of cultural renewal in our places of work and influence, and seeking to strengthen other churches. Together, we can bring hope to hundreds and thousands more across our city, by God's grace and for His glory. What's in your hands?